What's up, everybody? It's Ty the Bourbon Guy, and welcome back to the 25 Days of Whiskey. Today is day 13. We're cruising right along. Today is Russell's Reserve 13 year. This bottle is one that I know a lot of people have been chasing, and kind of to bring it a little full circle, I mentioned with the Old Fitzgerald that sometimes you can just walk into a place that actually has something sitting on the shelf or available or whatever it may be at retail price. Here's another example. Never thought that I would find this, but I did. Paid retail for it. Didn't pay any secondary. Just patience. Patience is a virtue for sure. This particular one I was excited to add to the collection. I was happy to get it. It's one of these ones that with everything Wild Turkey has been doing, whether it's the single rick house, the 13 year, all the master keeps, and now the generations, and I can go on and on. Wild Turkey, I think it's no secret that they make phenomenal whiskeys, but similar to how I felt about the Knob Creek, where yes, you now bottle it because you understood that single barrels were being chased after, the regular Russell's Reserve products, different picks. You're looking for certain rick houses, you're looking for certain ages, and so now you choose to bottle it that way, and it's even harder to find. And now at this point, I can't even find hardly any single barrels from Russell Reserve that are actually picked. Just recently in my area, I've started to see the regular single barrel Russell Reserves come back, but the actual picks are far and few in between. I'm starting to see a few of them, but still very difficult to acquire in my area. As good as it is to have a 13 year, to me, when you start to limit the picks, and it just makes it not as fun. The 13 year is a great bottle, and I was excited to have it and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong. But I have a Russell's Reserve store pick that is, in my opinion, the best Russell's Reserve that I've ever had. And I would take that all day over this. Now, I didn't do it blind or anything like that, so I'd be interested to see what my thoughts are doing it blind. But I just know that I could walk right in. I paid, they charge a little bit more, but it's a smaller establishment, so I understood that. But still, less than what I paid for this, and it just was one of those things that I preferred that one. The notes on it I thought were a little bit more rich, more complexity within that single barrel. This particular one, I know that some people, it's been kind of hit or miss. Some people absolutely love it. Sometimes I wonder, are we telling ourselves that because we want to love it? And again, I know this is going to be great whiskey for sure. But I just compare it to the single barrels and the picks, and I just think, why would I prefer a pick, not blind, to a 13 year when this one's way harder to find and way more people, chasing after this bottle or whatever the case is? Not really sure. But either way, still a phenomenal whiskey, and we're going to try it here. Cheers. So I'm a huge fan of the Russell's Reserve line, no matter what. Even if all you can find is the 10 year, even if all you can find is the regular single barrel, I think that you can't go wrong with either of those. I know some people that just maybe are not a huge fan of the 10 year, but I think with just what's out there right now, chasing down all of their Russell's Reserve picks and 13 year and single rick house, all these different things, it's fun. But again, I think there's a lot of value that is in a store pick, especially if you can find it. But even just in a 10 year, just sitting on a shelf, most places. I think Wild Turkey has done a very good job of that. When you look at Russell's Reserve, the line in bourbon and in the rye side, when you look at the 101, when you look at Rare Breed, they have products, even Kentucky Spirit. They have products that are just sitting there that are great whiskeys for sure. So I think it does make it a little harder and to make sure you have people hunting or whatever the case is, but it does make it harder to justify the hunt. But again, when you come across a 13 year, you don't pass up on it. And I think that it's great to have in my collection. If I came across it again, maybe in a situation where there was other allocated items available and I had to pick one, I would take something else that I don't have over a backup for this. Now that I have one, I got it. Not bad, but I can say that I've had it, whatever the case is. I don't know that I'm going to go crazy looking for a backup. That's just my own opinion. I wouldn't say it's a disappointment, but there's a lot of hype. And as that hype starts to build, again, I've mentioned this before, but how good does that whiskey have to be to match that level of excitement? It has to be pretty good. And it is good, but we'll see. Let's finish this one off. Cheers. So either way, I thought what better bottle to select for day 13 than the Russell's 13. If you're watching this, that means that chances are I'm getting ready to go to the hospital by the time you're watching this. And we're having my second tomorrow. And, just being a dad, I already have, one son, and now I'm going to have another. Being a dad, has just been a phenomenal experience. And the whiskey stuff is fun. And as I've done different events and I've gotten to meet some people that do subscribe and do follow, thank you so much for having those conversations with me and saying something when I do see you. But as awesome as that is, it has been really, really cool lately to now see some people that know that I have a second on the way and just talk to you about, time with your kids and just different pieces of advice or whatever the case is. That's awesome. So if we can share a whiskey as we have those conversations, even better. I appreciate you tuning in. You've been here this long. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. And I will see you tomorrow for day 14. Cheers.